On today's episode of Locked On Stars, how confident are you in the current state of the Dallas Stars? We'll discuss what to watch for tonight in the preseason game against the Blues. And will Miro Heiskanen actually kill penalties this season?
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. How confident are you in the current state of the Dallas Stars? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious if it changed when Jamie Benn went down with a collapsed lung. And did that affect your confidence or optimism in the Dallas Stars this upcoming season? Please let me know. We'll also discuss what to watch for tonight in today's show against the St. Louis Blues. Glenn Gulletson going to be trying out a pretty heavy lineup with veterans over the next couple of games this week. And the penalty kill. Will Miro Heiskanen actually get to kill some penalties this season? He hasn't done that a ton over the last couple of years. So I'll share with you what Glenn Gulletson is thinking and how he approaches when the Stars are down a man this season with number 4, the Stars' best overall defender. But we'll start with the current state of the Stars. I guess how you currently feel about Dallas could waver depending on how you felt about Jamie Benn. Me in particular, I do not see Jamie Benn as the defining player for the Stars this season, or really a key cog in what the Stars are wanting to be. But I do think the Stars will miss the leadership and his ability to give a stern message in the locker room, to send a message on the ice as well with his physicality. I know he isn't the same player he once was, but missing your captain, especially when the Stars are going through this transition with Gulletson, I think will hurt them to some degree. Whether you believe it or not, I still think he's the heartbeat of this team. And I think it really helped Gulletson and the dressing room to get his message across when Jamie Benn is there. It was said yesterday that they hope he gets to return home and he will start that recovery process. But I don't think you can underestimate his leadership. And I think it does affect winning to some degree. I think we've seen that in years past when he's missed games. The Stars just do not look like the same team. Whatever you think about him as a player at this point, and yeah, he's more of a 12 to 14 minute a night guy than he is 18 minutes, but the Stars have looked a lot different and they feel different when he's not on the bench. You can even go back to just this last season. Remember a couple games he missed when he was banged up, and the Stars just don't quite look the same. Now, this is a bit different. They're going to have to deal with him out of the lineup for at least a month, you would suppose. Best case scenario, he's back early November. The Stars haven't gone without Jamie Benn in a while. If there's something you can praise Jamie Benn about, it's usually his reliability. He doesn't miss a lot of games. 80 games, 82, 82, 82. He's there. He played 52 of the 56 during that COVID-shortened season. So Jamie Benn has been reliable, and the Stars haven't had to have him out of the lineup very much. So that is going to be an adaptation for Dallas. And I think it will affect some wins. I think it will affect their win total. If you want to look at it from that point of view. I see the Stars as sort of like 100-point team this season. I just think there's going to be some learning curve with Golitzin and now Ben. They are going to have to work through some things, and they may struggle to score at times, although they still have a really potent top six with Rantanen and Robertson. You still have Sagan, who I think still can produce at a pretty decent level for you despite the age. We saw it last season, and if you put him with Duchesne and whoever else, I think he can still be pretty productive. So it will be fascinating to see how the Stars work through the first month and a half without Ben, because it will cause some issues, I believe, and they're going to have to have guys step up and fill some of that void, especially within the dressing room, but I think on the ice as well. I've said it before in the past, the way Ben goes, sometimes the Stars go. Fortunately, that sort of ran into a brick wall in the postseason. He just wasn't the same player, and we were hoping we were going to get a better version of that, or at least somewhat of a version we saw, when he was 33 and he had 78 points. It's tough to do as he continues to age, but either way, it's a tough blow for Dallas. So I'm curious how some of you are feeling about the current state of the Stars. Now, I do like that Ritskovian, Huru, Ernie, whoever you want to trot out there, has a chance and an opportunity to win a spot after training camp, because prior to camp a month ago, there really wasn't a spot open. It seemed to be filled by Bastian and Faksa and whatever else you sort of picked up during the offseason, which, Faksa and Bastian. And then, of course, you still had Sam Steele, Oscar Beck. Don't forget about him. So there wasn't really a room. There wasn't really a spot for a Ritskovian to maybe compete for. And then Ben goes down, and now there is a real conversation about Ritskovian making the roster and maybe playing in a more high leverage role than you would expect. And we'll take a look at the line combinations as of yesterday. You have Hintz, Rantanen, and Robo, your top line. Duchesne, Sagan, Steele. Your second line, your third line, Ritskovian with Johnston and Bork. We saw that for a large chunk of the last preseason game. And then you have Faksa, Blackwell, Beck. And, of course, Bastian is in the press box as of right now. I think he's your 12th or 13th forward. I am curious how the Stars will sort of hand out games and I guess decide the amount of games Blackwell versus Bastian. I have a feeling, if I had to guess and predict, Bastian is going to play a touch more. He's a bit younger, brings that physical edge. Blackwell, I think, is the perfect guy to bring off the bench every couple of nights. You just need a spark. He's great on the PK. He is just a veteran player, right? A perfect veteran depth piece that you need when you need to give guys rest. And let's face it, if you're going to have injuries, which the Stars are going to have more than just Jamie Benn this year, he can fill in if need be. So, look, it's not the sexiest, but I do feel pretty bullish on Ritskovian with Johnston and Bork. Kind of keeps, the three young guys together. You could always move Ritskovian up and move Steele down. I wouldn't hate having the rookie with Duchesne and Sagan. Allows him to have some grizzled vets above him, kind of take care of him, like we saw with Ben and Sagan with Johnston a couple years ago, or even Dodonov and Ben, right? When Johnston sort of came up a couple years ago for the first time. Throw him under the wing of some grizzled vets. They can help him out. They can protect him. He can learn. And Steele, I think, can work with any line. Steele's that type of player. He's just versatile. Feel like you can kind of move him everywhere, and he's going to work to some degree just because he plays a real direct north-south game. It's simple. doesn't take a lot to get used to, and anybody can figure out how to play with them. On the back end, look, the Stars are pretty set. You got Lindell, Heiskanen, Harley, Lundqvist. We're going to see that to begin the year. Then you have Bichel, Labushkin, Petrovic, Kolyachonok are the other two. I have I don't know if I have a feeling about either one of them. I would think Petrovic's going to stay up, be your seventh guy, just because Kolyachonok will probably serve better playing in the AHL more regularly at this age than Petrovic. So Petrovic, in my eyes, would probably be your seventh guy. And he is a great option just because you know what you're going to get out of him. He's consistent, and he's a perfect fit for Bichel. And I think ideally the Stars would like to give Labushkin a day off every once in a while. He played a lot of minutes last year, a lot of high leverage minutes on the penalty kill. He was playing a ton with Harley. They were the most used pair last season. If they could give him some rest, that way he's as fresh as possible come playoff time, that's a good thing as well. And he's only 31, but he played a lot of minutes, more than he had in a while. So that's where I see the start. Let me know how you feel. Do you think with the Benn injury, you have a feeling that the Stars are going to win less or more games, or does it seem about the same? Because I feel like it's just about the same. I would probably lean to less, but I don't think it's significant. And that's sort of where I'm landing on this. It doesn't feel like it's a significant loss. It stinks. It's a blow, but I think the Stars can weather the storm until he gets back, just because the depth they have, they've drafted well, and I don't hate young players getting in. I think that's okay. And maybe that helps out Dallas. And in the end, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. So give me your thoughts in the comments below. Now, what to watch for tonight? Preseason game number 5, the final 2 games upcoming, and the Stars taking on the Blues. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Monarch Money. You've heard me talk about Monarch Money multiple times. Most people can't even name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And we don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is there for you. Just the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel like you're in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. It's about being in control. We know some of you just like to sit back and maybe not worry about your finances, but Monarch can worry about them for you to make sure you're maximizing your investments, increasing your savings, and it reviews your finances. That way, you and your partner can save up for that trip you've always wanted to take. It's about financial health. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. What to watch for tonight as the Stars take on the St. Louis Blues on the road, 7 o'clock puck drop. You can watch the game on Victory Plus. So a couple of things, and one that we've sort of hit the nail on the head here over the last couple of episodes. Ritzkovian with Johnston and Maverick Bork. That is a trio I think is auditioning. Well, at least Ritzkovian is auditioning to play alongside them come opening night. And Goldson has been pretty clear on what he expects in his presser yesterday after practice. This is a big game for guys like Huru, Ernie, and Ritzkovian to have one last impression. And this is where Goldson can get a really good idea of how each of these guys are going to play under pressure, and probably more importantly, play against NHL heavy lineups. The game, of course, is at home for St. Louis, so you're probably going to see a large chunk of their lineup. And Goldson mentioned the Stars only have a few more cuts to make, so they're going to be rolling out the majority of their lineup in the next 2 games. So Ritzkovian has to make the most of this opportunity. We'll see Lundqvist and Harley again. This pairing has had a lot of success. Again, we've seen them against opponents that are more AHL teams than NHL. and tonight and on, Saturday against Colorado, you're going to see more NHL talent. And you'll get a better taste of what's to come from that pairing. But I think that's a nice combination of some offense. Harley, of course, grew a lot last year, and Lundqvist did as well. Let's not beat around the bush. Lundqvist was a much improved defender until he got hurt, and I think in hindsight, it was a big loss for Dallas, more than maybe we talked about. It looks like Ottinger and DeSmith are going to get one more game. How much that they play in the next two, who knows? I would suspect you're going to get a full game out of each of them for the most part, and they have one little final tune-up before they get going in a couple of weeks. So I think those are a couple things I'm going to keep an eye on and what you should watch for tonight. Also, the power play, something we've talked about quite a bit here over the last week or so as well. Heiskanen has been the quarterback on power play unit number 1, and he's been with Hintz, Rantanen, Robo. I'm trying to think of the third person there, or the fifth person. I want to say with Duchesne. I could be wrong there. Can't remember off the top of my head, but Miro, Hintz, Rantanen, Robo. I think that'd be the 5. Yeah, and Johnston. Sorry, you got Wyatt. That one slipped my mind. On the second unit, you have Harley, you have Duchesne, you have Sagan, you have Bork, and Steele. Steele's been kind of checking in on that line as well. And Goldson made a point yesterday. He wants the power play to be crisp. So if they get opportunities, you're going to see the big boys out there, which I think is great. Continue to get an idea of how the Stars are going to attack penalty kills and look for some offense, because he said they want that rocking and rolling so they can get some points out of it. And they may need their special teams early on here to help produce, because they may struggle at 5-on-5. Look, they have some new line combinations, some guys that are playing in different roles, elevated roles, maybe not as comfortable as they were in years past. If you look at like Steele, it's going to be up. I think he's ready for it. But look, it's not like he's a 20 goal scorer, and you can just throw him up there and expect that. And the Stars are not going to have the offensive pop deeper in the lineup like they have over the last couple of years. It's just not the case. If you're going to have Foxa, Blackwell, Beck, Bastion, whoever it is, you're not going to get that. They want more versatility. I think they want more. They want more versatility up front a bit, and that's what they're going with. And it's not like they relied heavily on their fourth line in years past, but it was more of a skating line. This year, more checking. But we've seen the way they forechecked, how they go through their opponents, sort of that hand-to-hand combat they've talked about. That's really important for Goldson. And I think we're going to get a real taste of that here the next 2 games. And apologize, the light went out there, and I was coming to you from the dark for those of you watching on YouTube. But we've touched on the Goldson influence, and Dallas just trying to be a harder team to play against. I think you're going to see a much more aggressive forecheck and the ability for the Stars to create chances off of cycling, off of turnovers deep in opponent's territory, winning those 50-50 pucks, and then being able to create offense off of that, whether it's going straight to the net, moving it back up high, getting shots through on the point, maybe not relying as heavily off the rush and always being giddy up and go. It's going to be more workmanlike, and as he stated multiple times, road hockey. So the physicality aspect and just being hard to play against. And I think that'll help in turn the defense, just not giving up as much. Look at last spring, the amount of chances they were giving up and shots. Ottinger and DeSmith were just under siege most nights. They need to help out their goaltenders more. And I believe they'll be more responsible defensively. And I think they'll be better suited to play maybe a more slower style of game. Of course, they want to play fast and get on their opponents, but hold on to pucks a bit longer. Not just worry about constantly going north-south as soon as you get the puck. I think there's going to be a more steady rhythm to their offense. And I hope we get to see a kind of an early taste and maybe just a scotia of what's to come here tonight and again on Saturday against Colorado. So those are the things I'll be looking out for tonight against St. Louis. So we'll have plenty to talk about on tomorrow night's episode to break it all down. Now, the other side, special teams, penalty kill. We haven't touched on that much, but what's that going to look like? And will we actually see Miro Heiskanen get to kill some penalties this year? We'll discuss in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across that. FanDuel gives you so many ways to play. You can build parlays, player props, even follow the live games during the live action. It makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or you just love diving into the stats, watching your fantasy team, maybe watching your favorite team, FanDuel can make the game day experience that much better. It's not just for NFL. It's for Major League Baseball, for National Hockey. It's for college football. All different sports, all different ways for you to get in on the action, watch it live, and bet as it unfolds. And yes, first $5 bet, if it wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across FanDuel. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Sean Shapiro put out an article last month on Shap Shots about the Stars penalty kill and how Goldson is going to use Miro Heiskanen this year. And he mentions within the article and how Alain Nasreddine really had to do more of what Pete DeBoer wanted than maybe he did as the Stars defensive coach. And this is something that always irritated me to some degree over the last couple seasons. I remember doing an episode on this maybe a couple years ago, 2 seasons ago, when Stars penalty kill was really struggling and they were suffering because they just trotted out Hakan Lindell all the time. And I'm just sitting there thinking, you have a top 3 defender in the world, if not 2, if not 1, and he doesn't kill penalties. I never really understood that. I get why they took him off it, because they want to take some minutes, unload some of the minutes he was playing, because he was playing a lot, and I get that. But I'm not talking Lindell minutes here, who played the most penalty kill minutes by far in the NHL. We don't need that. But he can play more than what he played last year. What was it? 33 minutes on a penalty kill, and he played 50 games. Only 33 minutes. It's just not enough. It's not enough when he's your overall best player. Goldson has a great quote in here on the article. It says, he needs to be a part of the penalty kill, period. What you don't want him to do is have him not involved in the game for long periods of time, and it can happen if you're not playing all sides of the puck. And when you're able to, I want him on the penalty kill. He's too good not to. I want the best defenseman in the league to touch all areas of the game. Simple amen to that statement. So I love that approach, and I'm glad we'll probably get to see him more. We saw Lyubushkin and Lindell a ton, and then once CC came over, Lindell and CC. And look, it worked. They were a top 5 penalty kill in terms of their percentage over the last couple of years. So maybe I am and criticizing them for no reason since they were successful, but you can throw him some more minutes. I think it's important to have your best player out there as much as humanly possible. But you can always unload some of those minutes here and there. But I just believe he's your best overall defender. Why would you not want him in a part of the game where you need your best defenders? And Harley as well. He's going to get some more minutes there too. Goldson touched on trying to give him some more minutes. He played 112. You look at Miro, he was their fifth most used, like sixth most used defenseman down a man, which is a bit mind-boggling. But again, Lindell played a lot. So when you just had one pair that exclusively killed penalties, that's good. But that doesn't help you come playoff time. And this is why I'd probably argue why he does need to play more. Because you gave Lindell so many minutes and Lyubushkin so many minutes. Once again, playoff time, you weren't able to. They had a lot of minutes on those legs, and it becomes harder and harder to kill penalties, especially as the competition gets better and better and better, like they face Edmonton the last couple of years. So it'd be nice you can take some of the minutes off of them, give them, split them between Miro and Harley. And I think that'll help Lindell and Lyubushkin in turn stay a bit more fresh. And then it could be even more effective come playoff time when you really need to lean on them in some of those situations. So I just think it's really good to see that approach from Goldson and having Miro actually be a part of the penalty kill next season. Now, up front, you're going to get a lot of Sam Steele. I think you're going to get a lot of Blackwell. You'll see a lot of Wyatt, Johnston. Duchesne is going to take some draws. Duchesne will get some minutes. For the most part, I think you'll see Johnston play a ton and Blackwell. Those are two guys. Well, Steele and Blackwell are sort of your two main characters there that played the most amount of minutes down a man last season. Beck, throw Beck in there too, just because Beck was a bit more regular than Blackwell. So you'll see a lot of Steele and Beck. You'll get Blackwell when he's in the lineup. Otherwise, you'll probably see Johnston, a bit of hints here and there, and Bork. The Stars have plenty of guys, plenty of cast of characters that are strong in that position up front. So the Stars are going to be pretty strong there. But I would love to see Harley Heiskanen as sort of a pair. You can have Lindell Lyubushkin start, then you get Harley and Heiskanen out there, spread the wealth a bit more. And I think in turn, that'll keep all of them fresh. And let's face it, the Stars will need that after, an 82-game stretch. I think they'll be happy trying to spread the wealth around for everybody involved. Look, Lindell's going to play the most minutes. I don't think that's a question. He is incredible in that department. He's a penalty kill specialist and deserves to play the most minutes. But you can get your best guy out there, your best two, a bit more often. I think that's the best case scenario instead of just exclusively holding to one pair. I think you're just asking for a lot of issues towards the end of the season when you just constantly trot out the same pair. And I think too, just lots of penalty kills to get a lot of tape on them and probably make things a bit easier as well when they see the same complement of guys week in and week out. But I did want to share that with you. I was put out a bit ago, but some really, really great stuff as always from Sean Sabiro. So no surprise there, but yeah, that'll do it for today's episode of Locked On Stars. A good one. Let me know. How do you feel about the current state of the Stars? Higher, lower since the Ben injury, or it's just kind of the same? Would love to hear your perspective and take on that. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll be back and to break it down on the next episode. As always, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, never miss an episode of Locked On Stars. This is Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. So long, Stars fans.